What's going on, guys? John Elder here from Pygame.com, and in this video, we're going to build an MP3 player with Tkinter and Python. Alright guys, like I said, in this video we're going to build this MP3 player, but before we get started, if you like this video, want to see more like it, be sure to smash the like button below, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm, and check out Pygame.com where I have dozens of courses with hundreds of videos that teach you to code. Use coupon code YouTube1 to get $30 off membership. That's all my courses, videos, and books for a one-time fee at just $49, which is insanely cheap. Okay, in the last video, I showed you how to do sounds and music with Pygame and Tkinter. In this video, we're going to expand on that and build this fun little MP3 player. And you can see we've got a list of songs in here. We can click play. It'll play. You can press forward, goes forward, back, goes back. We can pause it, unpause it, stop it. We can remove songs if we want. We can delete one song or delete all the songs. We can add a song. We can add one song. We can add many songs all at once and stuff like that. We might expand this as we go on to put more features in there. Somebody asked to put a slider underneath that shows like the location of the song that's being played at the moment. We might do that later on. But for now, we'll start with this right here. So just take a look at this real quick. What we've got here is some buttons that I created, and we know how to do buttons and image buttons from past videos. I've also got this playlist here. And this is just a list box, a Tkinter list box. And I've done a couple videos on list boxes in the past. You can check the playlist for those as well. I just changed the color and we'll look at how to do that. These are menus. We've done that before. So a lot of the stuff in here is going to be review of things we've done in the past. So it's kind of fun to get to see actual examples of these things. The only really different parts are these buttons here, like going forward, going back, pausing, stopping, playing, things like that. And also there's a little bit of voodoo in adding the songs and removing the songs that might be fun too. So this should be a fun one. It's probably going to take us a few days to go through all these things, but let's get started. So it is Friday here in Vegas. Very excited for the weekend once again, and should be good. So I've got our basic starter code that we always have. I'm using the Sublime Text Editor and the Git Bash terminal as always. And I've imported Pygame. Now, if you haven't pip installed this from the terminal, go ahead and do that now. Just pip install Pygame. We did this in the last video, so you can go back and watch that one. Link in the comment section below if you need help with that. But, okay, what do we want to do here? So, well, from the last video, we know that right off the bat, we need to do pygame.mixer init to turn on our mixer, just so that we can use Pygame with sounds and stuff. So, let's just comment this let's say initialize Pygame mixer, whatever. And we can just sort of ignore this for now. So the first thing we really need to do is add that list box, right? So let's go create a playlist box, right? So what should we call this? I'm just going to call this song box because I have no imagination. Basically what it is, song box, maybe you call it song list box or whatever, doesn't really matter. So this is going to be a list box. This is just a Tkinter widget list box, right? And we want to put this in root. And now normally this would be enough, but we want to change the color of this thing and give it some attributes. So I want to change the background color, BG, to black. I want to change the foreground color, FG, to green. And now the foreground color is the text color. So when we add things to this list, the text will be green. You can put any color you want, but I like that green color on black background, so that's cool. And the default width is 20. Now this is not really 20 pixels, it's sort of just 20 list box sizes, if you think of it like that, right? So I want to triple the size of this, so let's just make this 60. So, okay, we've defined this guy. So now we need to put it on the screen, so let's go song_box. .pack, and let's give this a pad y of 20. So go ahead and save this. I'm saving it as player.py. If you want to see the code for this, there should be a link in the comment section to my GitHub repository, so you can look at player.py to find it if you want. So let's head over to our Git Bash terminal and let's run Python player.py. And when we do, we see we've got this playlist box. There's nothing going on in it right now, but it looks pretty good, and I'm pretty happy with the dimensions of that. You can make it any size you want, obviously. Okay, so I'm gonna pull up Windows Explorer here, and I'm in my C GUI drive. Now, If you've been watching these videos, you know I have an images directory in our C GUI drive. The GUI directory is where we save all of our Tkinter code throughout this playlist. And you can see I've found some buttons here, and I've called them play 50, stop 50, pause 50, forward 50, and back 50 because they're 50 pixels in size, so I just named them 50, right? And I found these on some free image website. I don't even remember where. You can search around in Google and find any kind of buttons you want. These are just PNG files. I've also created this audio directory that we talked about in the last video, and I just put some MP3 songs in here. Now this will work with MP3 songs, it'll work with WAV files, it'll work with OGG files. It's, I think, maybe Linux files or Mac files, or I don't know. But any of those music type files will work. I downloaded these from, there's a YouTube song website where you get free music. I just randomly downloaded some songs and I put them in this audio directory. So the next thing we want to do is grab these buttons and put them on the screen. So let's head back over to our code and let's create, let's say, create player control buttons, right? And we need 1, 2, 3, 4, we need like 5 of them, right? So I'm going to call one back underscore button, and I'm going to call another one forward underscore button, and then I want to call the play button, and then we need a pause button, so let's call this pause button, and then we need a stop button, right? So when we create a button, we just create a button, but if we want to use images, we've looked at this before. First, we need to define the image as a photo image. So let's go photo image, and the P and the I in image are capitalized. And then the file is going to equal whatever file. So remember, I put them in the images directory, and then I called the back button back 50.png. Now, this is a relative path. You could put the absolute path if you wanted to, like that. But since this player.py file that we're working on is saved in the GUI directory, we don't have to do that. We could just use the relative path. So I'm just going to copy this and kind of paste it in for all of these, and then just switch these out. So instead of back 50, this is forward 50, and this is play 50. And this one is, you can guess, pause 50, and this one is stop 50. So say let's, instead of calling this create, let's call this define player control button images. It's probably a better description. So now we've got our images defined. Now we can create player control images or buttons. Now I want to put these all next to each other in a straight line, so I need to grid them, but I want to pack everything else so it's easily centered on the screen. So to do that, let's create a frame here. So let's go create player control frames. Now I'm not usually big on commenting, but this is going to be a little more complicated program, so I want to make sure I put a lot of comments so the code is easily understandable. So frame. So okay. So let's call this control frame, or controls frame maybe. And this is a frame, and we want to put it in root. Now we can just go controls frame.pack, and let's give this a pad y of, well, we probably don't have to give it a pad y of anything really. We could change that later if we want. Okay, so now let's create our buttons. So let's call this back underscore button, different than back btn, right? So maybe these are bad names. Maybe we would put back button image or something like that, right? Just so that makes more sense looking at it, that these are images. So this is going to be back button, and then forward button, and then play button, and then pause button, and then stop underscore button. And while we're at it, let's paste these in again and dot grid these. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so, all right, let's define these guys. So this is a button, and we don't want to put it in root. We want to put it in control frame because we want to put it in that frame, right? And we want the image to equal something. And remember, when we make images out of buttons, we have to designate the border width to be 0. Otherwise, they've got a box around them. So let's go border width equals 0. And let me just copy this. And let's just paste this in for all of these. Okay, so for our back button, we're going to use the back button image. So we could paste this in as image. And then for the forward button, we want to copy this guy. And then for the play button, we want to copy this guy. And the pause button, we want to copy this guy. I know this is kind of tedious, but this is just always how you do it at the beginning before we start actually writing good code here. Okay, so that looks good. So now we want to grid these guys onto the screen. And let's go row equals column equals. And this is all going to be in row 0. So, okay, let's copy this. Try to make this as quick as possible. Paste, paste, paste. So this is going to be column 0, column 1, column 2, column 3, and column 4. So let's go ahead and save this and see if we mess this up, which is entirely possible because it's Friday. And all right, no, looking pretty good. So these buttons are really scrunched together here. Maybe we want to give it a pad X of something to, kind of move them apart a little bit, right? Because that's real close together. So let's do that real quick. Let's go pad X of, let's just say 10. Copy this, paste, 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 and paste. So go ahead and save this. And let's run this again to see how that looked. Okay, it looks pretty good. All right, and you can play with the spacing of these if you want. So, all right, so far so good. We are moving right along. So none of these buttons actually do anything yet. But the first thing we want to do is add the ability to add a song in here. So let's do that now. And I want to put this up here in a menu just because I don't want to clutter up the screen here. So let's head back over to our code and let's create menu. And we've created menus a lot in the past in other videos. Let's just define this as my menu, set that equal to a menu, and we want to put it in root. And then we want to go root.config and then set the menu to my_menu. And then let's add a song menu or add song menu, something like that, to add songs. So let's go add underscore song underscore menu. And this is a menu. And what menu is it? It's in my_menu. And then we can go my_menu dot add underscore cascade. And let's give this a label. And notice this is a lowercase l, not a capital L. It looks like a capital L. Sublime does that, drives me crazy. And so let's go add songs. And then what do we want to do? We want to put it on menu, add underscore song underscore menu, which is this menu guy we just created right there. Okay, so inside of add song menu, we want to add a thing, right? So let's go dot add underscore command. And we want to give this a label equal, again, lowercase l, add one song to playlist. And let's give this a command of add underscore song. Now we haven't created that add song function yet, so let's come up here and define that. Let's go add song function. So let's define it as add song. And as for now, let's just say pass. All right, let's go ahead and save this and run it, make sure that looks okay. So we have this add songs menu. If we click on it, it says add one song to playlist. When we do that, nothing happens. Okay, so boy, this video is getting long already and we haven't really done anything yet. So let's try and at least get in the ability to add one song to the playlist in this video. So let's head back over to our code, and in our add song directory, what do we want to do? We want to create, whenever we click on that, we want a file dialog box to pop up that allows us to then search and find whatever song we want and add it to the playlist. And we've done file dialog boxes lots of times in the past. We have to first import that up here at the top. So let's go from Tkinter, import file dialog. Did I spell it right? File dialog, yep. And then down here, we could just create a variable. I'm just gonna call it song, because that's what we're doing here. We're trying to find a song to add to the playlist. So let's just call it song and set that equal to file dialog dot ask open file name, right? And now we can pass a bunch of different parameters in here. First thing we want to do is say, what directory do we want to look in initially? And that's the initial dir directory. And we can set that equal to anything, but I'm going to set it to audio, AUDIO. And remember, I showed you at the beginning of this video, I created a directory inside my GUI directory called audio, where I've got all my songs, right? Yeah, this is a relative path. You could always go c:/GUI/audio. But again, since this file, this player.py file is already in the GUI directory, we don't have to do that. So, okay. So next we want to give this a title, and let's give this a title of choose a song, right? And then what file types do we want to sort of allow the program to import? Well, I just want to make this an MP3 player, so I'll do a couple of brackets here and quotation marks, and let's go MP3 files, and then comma, and then we need to designate what those file extensions are. So we would go star.mp3. Now this is a tuple, so we always put a comma, right? So that's this thing here. Even though we're only doing one thing, we still have to put the comma as if there was going to be another thing here. And you could do other things as well, maybe WAV files or something, but I think that's fine. Okay, so that looks good. So we can now, let's just say print song. So let's save this and see if this worked. Let's run our guy again here. Come over here, add songs, add one song to playlist. This opens, we can pick a song, not me. We click open, nothing happens here, but when we close this, it prints out the location of this song. C GUI audio, not me. So very cool. So now if we want, we can add that to our list box. So let's head back over here, and instead of printing this to the screen, let's just go song_box, which is what we called our list box, dot insert, and we want to put this at the end of the list. We always want to put the new song at the end of the list. So that's end, and then what do we want to put? We want to put song. So let's go ahead and save this and see if that worked. So let's run this again and add songs. Let's pick not me, and boom, it shows up here. Now check this out. When we click on this, it says C:/GUI audio, not me. Now maybe we want to get rid of the C GUI audio and we just want the title itself on there. So let's do that real quick. And we can do that with just a little bit of Python. So before we insert it into the box, let's make a little bit of change, some changes to it. So song equals song.replace, and we can replace anything we want. So let's replace that C:/GUI/audio with nothing, right? So that will take off the C GUI audio, but it won't take off the .mp3 from the end of it. So let's just copy this line again and paste it again. And this time, instead of replacing this with nothing, we want to replace .mp3 with nothing. Okay, so let's give a little comment here. Strip out the directory info and .mp3 extension from the song name. I don't know. Okay, and then here, let's add song to list box. Okay, so let's save this and run it, make sure that worked. And add songs, add not me. Boom, it shows up as just not me. There is a / though, so let's get rid of that as well. Right here, boom. Okay, that looks good. So now, let's save this and run it just to make sure that worked again. I'm sure it did, but I want to show you something else as well. So add song, not me. Boom, it looks like not me. Very cool. So now check this out. When we click on it, we get this blue bar and the text turns white. And I don't really like that color, so let's go ahead and change that. So we can do that really quickly in our list box. Let's see, right here. We have the attributes. We change the color of the background to black and the text to green, and we set the width to 50. We can also change other things in here as well. We can change the selection background. So that's select background. That's the color of that bar when you click on it. So I want to change that to gray. like a silver color. We can also change the select foreground. So select foreground equals, and I want to turn the text to black. So let's save this and see what that looks like. All right, run this guy, come back over here, add song. Not me, we click on it, boom, the bar turns gray and the text turns black. I think that looks a lot better. Put any colors on there that you want, though that's cool. So, okay, we've got some pretty good stuff going on here. This video is, whoa, getting pretty long, but I think very quickly we can at least click the play, make the play button work. So let's do that real quick. So let's head over to our buttons and find our play button. And I think here it is. And let's give this a command equals play. Okay, so now we just need to come up here and create that function. So let's say play selected song. So let's define play. Now we need a variable so we know what song we want to play. So what song do we want to play? Well, whatever's been clicked on in the list box. And how do we determine that? Well, we call the active get of the list box. So we can go song box, is what we called it, dot get, and what do we want to get? Whatever's active, right? That's the one that's been clicked. It's highlighted. It's gray. It's got the gray bar on it. So now remember, the thing in the box has had this stuff stripped off of it, right? But we need that stuff in order to actually play it. So we need to add that stuff back in. So let's go song equals, and let's just use an F string. And we can just add in C /GUI /audio / and then pass in whatever our song is, and then also put in on the back of it .mp3. So this will sort of reconstruct that directory string the way it was before. So now we can just go Pygame .mixer .music .load, and we want to load song. And then we want to go pygame.mixer.music.play. And then let's give this a loops of 0. And again, this is a lowercase l. And we learned how to do these two things in the last video. That's how we play songs, right? Hopefully that will work. Let's save this and run it. Give it one more try here. So let's add a song. Not me. It shows up. We click on it, press play. All right, and that works. Now our stop button doesn't work. We can click the play button a bunch of times. Let's do the stop button real quick. Why not? That should just take a second. Head back over to our code, come down here to our buttons. Here's our stop button. Let's give this a command of stop. And let's come up here and create a new function. Stop playing current song. And let's define stop. And this is just Pygame. Actually, let's just copy this whole line. Pygame.mixer.music.stop. And we don't have to pass it anything at all. Now, we can also sort of clear the list box if we want. So let's go song box, the name cracks me up for some reason, .selection _clear, and then we want to clear active. Active is the thing that's been clicked, right? So what this will do is unclick it basically. So let's save this and run it. And add song. Not me. We click on it. Now that's active, right? We click play. We click stop. It stops playing and it's no longer selected, right? So, okay, looking good. And boy, this video got long quick, and we've got a lot more stuff to do on this. So this is gonna definitely take 2 or 3 or maybe 4 days to get through all this. But I think for now we'll stop. I think we got a pretty good start. At least it looks good. It's not completely functional, but we can play one song and we can stop one song. So I think we did pretty good for the day. Hey, it's Friday anyway, come on. So that's all for this video. If you liked it, be sure to smash the like button below, subscribe to that channel, give me a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm, which really helps out the channel. I really appreciate it, guys. And check out codemy.com where you can use coupon code YouTube1 to get $30 off membership. Same page is $49 to access all my courses, over 45 courses, hundreds of videos, and the PDFs of all my best-selling coding books. Join over 100,000 students learning to code just like you. My name is John Elder from codemy.com, and we'll see you in the next video.